Hey guys, how are ya? We're back with Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment. We are in the middle of the 5th case. Now let's see what we have to do. Before performing the experiment in the colonial collection room, talk to all suspects about the day of the murder. Find out how to stimulate the deadly plants in the colonial collection. And find out who killed Mr. Montague Dunn. Now inspect Kew Gardens, staff buildings and gather information on Montague Dunn. So we have to go to the colonial collection at this place. But first of all, let's take a look here. Have a statue or a sculpture. I forgot something. Let's go to the Divine Syndicate first, and afterwards we go to the Kew Garden. Oh, we're there. Right then, let's take a look for a statue or something like that. Maybe it's from one of them statues here. Can't do anything to the bell. In here already. That's just the gong. There's no statue back there. Maybe inside. Let's take a look at the statue again. No, not this one. Okay. So, at this place there are just all the flowers. We don't need this. Let's take another look at here. Maybe I oversaw something last time. Doesn't look like it. Okay. And let's get back to Kew Gardens. Okay, once we are there, we have to look around every little place, talk to every person we can see. Hopefully we will get some more insights and yeah. Come on. Okay, so once again, let's get started. It's just an object of interest. Okay, I took a look already. Let's talk to him again.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Alright, let's do it like this. We start with this room first. Try to take a look at everything. Maybe I missed something. Nothing on the table. Photograph. We examined this one. We examined the... Alright, this room is clearly done. Let's get to the next one. Oops. Yes, we have been there. Oh!
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Yeah. Let's do this. Oh, another lock. Like that. Okay. That's the furthest out. Wait. Go back. Let's turn till we see this. Okay. We need a line here. can I... Okay, I need to rotate this one. There's the line. This looks good. The line goes down here, over there. Okay, here's something missing. Maybe there's another part. No. It's this. Okay. Ah. Okay, there is a mistake in my... Why can't I move this one? Ah, okay, I can move this one as well. Can only move those two? Why? Ah, okay, there it is. Now we just need to find the correct grooves. That looks nice. And it's done.
Open.
I'm getting better at this. Alright, start to the left. Miss White's locker.
Miss White's locker. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
Diploma, master's degree, okay. There's a request.
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Letter to her family. Dear Mother and Father, I am writing this letter with reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I had anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money? Margaret. Alright. Okay.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune.
Yeah, I think so too. Why did she need money?
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Another letter. Family's reply. Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all of these years that have passed since you left and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now? We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us ever compromised their reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed. Your parents. Ah, I can see a motive. Anyway, Albert's letter to Miss White. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. Ooh, he really loves her. Why haven't I been here before? Damn it.
Martin Hamish's locker.
Okay. Alright, let's start from the right. There's a hat. We have a photo. Okay. Who are those?
Father and I. Kew Gardens.
Ah, alright.
A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Very nice. A letter. Martin Hamish's ambition. Mr. General Secretary. Or Secretary. Recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens oblige me to renew my application for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and so I was happy to comply. But now, the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task at hand, and free my mind from this uncertainty. Okay, we have to talk to him again. I still need to find something for this.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
Ah, okay. Let's take a look at
Albert's locker.
Books, hats.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Okay. The Royal Navy's letter of refusal. Recruitment Center London. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the directorship of the Royal Botanical Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Yours very faithfully, J.M., Director of the Royal Navy Training Center. Okay. Ooh, it's a photograph.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Okay. That's that. Let's take a look here. What do we have here? Albert's hopes. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's walk around here. Take more looks. University book. Alright, so there's evidence required for this one. Okay. So there's still something missing. Wait a second.
Miss White.
No, there's no R1 on this one. Oobala. Something here to do? No. Okay. So let's go on. Let's walk all the way around here. Let's get in the nursery one more time. Let's see if we can find something else of importance. Posters.
We can see the interior.
Yeah, I know that. I want to see the posters. Come on. Sometimes it's not that easy. Okay.
This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing. But it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens.
Oxford Botanic Garden. To educate the public about the development of expertise in horticulture and botanical arts, example of transplants, adaptations in hostile lands. Okay.
This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
Alright. Okay, there's a desk here. What was it? It's a work desk? Which one was it? Or whose was it? Martin Hamish, okay. So, he is able to take a look.
We can see the interior of the colonial...
Yeah, you could take a look at the cologne at this one. Okay, diplomas. Don't need that. Nothing in here. I think I know where I should go next. First. Let's see. Nothing here, nothing here. Can't open that. Nothing there. Okay, let's go on. That's the seed thing. Let's go over here to this one first. Okay, there's nothing here to see. Alright, that's the way around. Okay, voila. Okay. Now, let's get in here once again. Okay, she's there. Should I talk to her again in a sec? No, didn't want to open that. Albert. That's Albert's place. Oh, ventilation.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
Okay.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
Okay. Not possible from here either, so... Depends on where she was. Or he. I'm not sure. He was experimenting with chemistry, in a way. Let's talk to her.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
She's killer.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
Okay. I want this record, yeah.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Really? I didn't see
Thank you, miss.
any of that there. Okay. Yeah, we opened that window already. It doesn't work. So she was at the laboratory. So it means that she had a great look to the room where the guy was in. So she could have killed him. Definitely.
A ventilation system.
Still an object of interest, okay. So I didn't find what I need yet. Let's walk around some more. Is there something back here? I examined the fireplace already. Let's go in here. Let's take a look at... Also, dry tracks. Okay. Nothing there. Right, let's go and find Albert. To talk to him again. What the hell? Pots.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Once again it isn't. Okay. Okay, nothing else.
According to this, they have...
Yeah, I know this one already. Let's go back here. Okay, that was a room where he died. I examined this, I examined this. It's all fine, all done. Nothing here. Let's take a look at the then. Here once more. Nothing there. Plants. Singapore. Ah. Okay, can I take a look inside? Why can I open and close this one? I have an idea. You put the flower in there, then you start the ventilation, and then the spores come out and the guy dies. That's what I think. Okay. here. Nice. So we can talk to him once more.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
Okay.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
You're lying. Yeah.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Okay, so let's send you clues. Okay, Albert's motive. Albert had a motive to kill his father, Montague Dunn. Dunn had thwarted Albert's dream of joining the Royal Navy. By killing his father, Albert could have his revenge and eventually succeed in his father's place as a director of Kew Gardens. Yeah, he has a motive, that's right. So what else do we have? Deadly precision. Did he really kill his own father? I don't think so. Albert is not very good at botany. It is doubtful that he could have learned how the plants might release their deadly spores. Albert had the biological knowledge to stimulate the deadly plants. Yeah, he had, but I don't think that he did it. What happens if I do it like this? Ooh. Okay. No, I don't think so. Actually, I really don't think so. I'm still convinced that she is the one. Sect is not involved. Nah. I'm really sure that's not it. Okay, what else do we have? No. White's situation. Margaret White's studies and social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Yes, we know that. Does not help me, not yet. Close to the end. White's lack of experience. The knowledge Miss White acquired at the university might not be enough to guarantee the correct reaction of deadly plants. Miss White had the biological knowledge to stimulate. Yeah, she had it because she has a master's degree, so she should know how it works. And there we are. White killed Dunn. That's what I think. That's what I think. Yeah, that's really what I think. But I will keep it open. I'm not quite done with my investigation here. Okay, search the archives, rented flower pots. We have to talk to Martin Hamish once again. Okay, I've done all of that. There it is.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Another liar.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Oh, what now?
Everyone has gone, Holmes.
Ah,
The
yeah.
way is clear.
Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah, that's what I thought. Heading to spores number 1. Then escaping the room. Is there something else? No.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate.
Yeah.
Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sure that I'm right.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
I did it wrong. Okay, so let's go to the ventilation system. It's over here. Oops.
According...
Transmission on. Power
The power is on.
and start.
The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
Ah, it's just showing me where it's going. Okay. Okay, let's get back to Watson.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's.
Ah, okay. Now I know what to go. I know what to do. I'm walking the long way. Yeah, I know. Okay. Fairly sure. No. Wrong. Or was it? Wait. Wait. What the hell? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure where to go now. What's here? Evidence required. Yeah, the 300 something. There it is.
Here it is.
Something else?
Cylinder records.
Nope. Alright.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
So isn't she the killer? Huh. She was here.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
Which one? The one next door. So at the moment it seems like...
From here, we are unable to...
Yeah.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
Okay.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Martin Hamish had the opportunity to stimulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collection Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. Okay. So it wasn't her, it was him. Seems like it. What else do we have? Hamish's motive. Martin Hamish had a motive. He believed that he and his father's lives had been ruined by Dunn, who had taken the credit for all of their work. Hamish wished to take over the directorship of Kew Gardens, but he knew that would not be possible with Dunn still alive. I'm more and more convinced that he is the one to blame. Because, yeah, it was him. It has to be. Hamish is guilty. Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plans and stimulate them from this workplace, directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection Room. No, he couldn't. He had no key. He couldn't lock him. Albert is the only one who had a key, and he gave a copy to Miss White. Is he really guilty? Affect the rest of Martin. He really is. But he had no key. He had no key. this is. Okay. So I was wrong. Good to know.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Yeah. Well, before we do this, I wanna do that. Wait, let's go to Baker Street. There was one more thing. Yeah, it has to be him. But he had no key. That's the only thing what bothers me. He had no key to lock him in. Okay. First, let's take a look here. Symbol of the exhibition. Somewhere on the right. It's wrong here. It's not newspapers. Next one. It's Wikipedia. Economic science, technology, history, medicine, botany. No. Chemistry. Poisons and toxins, wounds and injuries, criminalistics, martial arts, marks and symbols.
That is not the one I need.
Oh, okay. London Garden? Yeah, now there it is. Seymour's Garden. Garden equipment and supplies. We are a premium supplier for all your landscape, gardening and timber requirements. Full range supply and delivery of sand, soils, mulches, pots and anything else you may need.
Here it is.
Does it help me in any way? No, it does not. Yeah, it was a bust. I don't need to find... come on. Let's end this one. Let's go to Scotland Yard. Although there's one more thing I want to try. And let's see if the syndicate... If we do it like this... Ah, okay, it wouldn't work because his the opportunity wouldn't be there. Nah, he is. Yeah. Yep. We leave it like that. That's fine. Alright, let's go to Lestrade. He must be in his office. There he is.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Or is it done? Let's see. What's happening? Are we back at the garden? At Kew Garden?
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do now?
Martin Hamish is in...
It's in the large one, okay. So, beforehand, let's... Oh, wait. It's done already. Let's go inside. And take him away.
Holmes,
no.
my God!
Yes. We found him like that.
Are you kidding
Our
me?
messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Shit.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
This is really weird. Let's start with the head. Ah, yeah.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Alright. There's a letter. Martin Hamish's regret. Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so here and now. Farewell. Somehow it's too obvious.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique.
Yeah.
This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
What is a club foot? What does it mean? What does it mean? The worn down double heel of his left shoe reveals that Martin Hamish suffered from a club foot and tibial torsion. Yeah, that's staged. Hamish acted alone now. Martin Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion on his club foot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? He had. It has to be her. It has to be. Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish. Okay.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
Yeah.
With a timeline?
Yeah.
Such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case?
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Yeah. Very nice.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Okay, Martin Hamish and Montague Dunn went to meet Albert in the Seat House at around 9:30. What? Montague Dunn? Went to the Seat House? Went to meet Albert. This is the green one. 9:30. It was at around 20 minutes to 10, so 9:40, when Hamish and Montague Dunn went out to the backyard. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommenced. This is done, isn't it? No, this is done. Dunn recommenced his inspection and entered the dry tropics room. Hamish returned to his Seat House. After 10 minutes, okay. 9:50. 9:50. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40. When she saw Hamish and Albert in the water lily greenhouse and joined them. This was 10:40. Okay. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed that Montague Dunn was unwell, which was at around 10:30. Albert was in the sea towers the entire morning. He observed Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10 minutes past 10. Then this also. Okay. Okay, that was way
Let
too
us
fast.
summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time.
It is her. I'm so sure of it.
Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Okay. White and Hamish. Let's take a look here. Miss White had 20 minutes. It would have been enough to trap Montague Dunn. She could have locked the door and allowed Martin Hamish to activate the ventilation system. It is unlikely that White would have had the opportunity, and 20 minutes would have not been enough to lock the door. That is it. That's this one. I'm so sure of it. And we have one more. Albert and Hamish. Okay, at the time Earth was Martin Hamish's compass. 10 minutes would have been enough for him to follow Montague down and lock the door in order that Martin might activate the ventilation system. Martin, Hamish and Albert are not accomplices. It is unlikely that Albert would have had the opportunity, and 10 minutes would have not been enough to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. It is... He couldn't see it, he didn't know it, it isn't him, it is her. She is the accomplice. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, Margaret White was Martin Hamish's accomplice in killing Montague Dunn. Her professional ambition and personal situation had been damaged by the breakup with Dunn, definitely. Condemn Miss White. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder for monetary gain. She flirted with Dunn's son, Albert, and later pushed Martin Hamish to his suicide. She deserves the rope. Or absolve Miss White. Miss White is a desperate woman in debt, resigned to consorting with wealthy gentlemen. When Dunn cast her aside, she killed him in desperation. Hamish tried to save her. She deserves a second chance. No, she does not deserve a second chance. Why? He didn't try to save her. She killed him and put the note in. That's what I think. I confirm my moral choice. Definitely. Well, in the end, she killed two guys.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Okay.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Nice to hear, Watson.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
Are you kidding
You
me?
think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
Okay.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
What?
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Close one.
Well done, Watson.
Whee!
She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Well, safety from a suicide, but you will be hanged afterwards. Okay, the Kew Gardens drama. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder. When she realized that she was unable to make any further monetary gain from Montague Dunn, she advanced her affections to Albert, the son. She was the one who locked the door of the Colonial Collection room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars, and then pushed Hamish to his suicide only to cover herself. She got what she deserved. Yeah, I accept the decision. Yes. Sympathizing, alright. Half Moon Walk. Okay, I think there's one more case that's left. And this is a case I will save for tomorrow. Or for the next few days. I don't know if I'm gonna play this game tomorrow. Continue. So let's take a peek.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way.
What?
Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Of course we have.
And forget about the dinner? Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Okay. Alright, what do we have here? Solve the crime at Half Moon Street, investigate the crime scene and talk to witnesses at Half Moon Street, interrogate Leighton and examine his belongings at Scotland Yard. And there we have the next one, synthesizing, synthesizing. Still, everything, okay. And here we have a souvenir, the deadly plant. Alright. We won't go there yet. Let's go over here, take the echo. Plants can be used for murder. Sensation, an exotic method of murder. The arsenal of our present-day criminals may soon be refilled with poisonous plants. A young and beautiful woman, in collaboration with her colleague at Kew Gardens, planned the terrible murder of the director, Mr. Montague Dunn. Only one detective was capable of uncovering the truth behind the tragedy that was initially believed to be a simple heart attack. That detective's name is Sherlock Holmes. Love it. And it. Lady Brackenstall's confession. Ah, that was the story before that. Dear Mr. Holmes, I have finally found the courage to write you a letter. I can scarcely find the words to express my gratitude for your kindness. On that terrible day I believed my life to be ruined, but at the same time I realized that to be one person in the world who truly loved me and who I loved in return. His name we both know, he is Captain Jack Crocker. His love has given me true reason to live. Even if we cannot be together in the end, none of this could have happened without you, Mr. Holmes. Yours sincerely, Mary Brackenstall. Yeah, that was the case before the last one. Alright, now we have those two. And before we end the stream and the video, Toby.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
I love the stock. Is it still pointing at this grotesquely woman? Still. I don't know why. Hopefully it will be now it's green. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Alright, so guys, thank you very much for watching. That was the 5th case of Sherlock Holmes. The lighting is really bad here, but it's okay. And there's one more left, and I will do this one in the next few days. But I don't think this weekend, maybe on Monday, because from tomorrow to Sunday there is a special event on 303 Freestyle for extra 50% more experience points and coins, and I will try to use that as much as possible. Yeah, if you liked what you saw and if you want to see more, just hit the follow button. It's the purple one on the bottom of the video. It's for free, and you will get a notification when I'm back online. I will be playing more games in the future as well. I have another Sherlock Holmes game I want to play, and someday I will play even Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes. Alright, like I said, thank you very much for watching. I wish you all a happy evening, a good night, and I hope I can see you guys next time. Bye bye.